You probably remember exactly where you were on 9/11. Now considering not just remembering, but having a Broadway production to remind you that even in the darkest hours, there's good. Such is the case for the people I'm profiling in this week's Positively Cincinnati. They were on Flight 37 from London to here on September 11th. Imagine you're flying, then you notice
All of a sudden that the airplane was taking a big turn.
that turn, and the result of it is why I went to the Aronoff Center for the Arts to meet Cheryl Egley-Heater, her husband Dave,
It changed me.
and Glenn Prosser, all passengers from Cincinnati who lived a story that would make its way to stages around the world.
I was certainly hoping that it would come to Cincinnati.
It is Come From Away,
And if we do return to you, we'll make your cradles rock.
the musical playing here soon that was born on the day their Delta flight and many others took that turn.
Did it ever cross your mind that what you were living would become a theater production?
Not at all. I've got an incredible amount of respect for the folks who put this together. They nailed it.
It is a representation of their personal experience.
I think we've probably never brought a Broadway show that had such amazing real-life local connections. It has been very moving to hear our local neighbors' stories about being on those flights.
An homage to the good that grew out of the horror of that time. When terrorists attacked on 9/11, like thousands of others, Dave, Cheryl, and Glenn were on a plane flying home. But the U.S. cleared its airspace. That meant they got rerouted to Gander, Newfoundland, an island off Canada.
As we were pulling up, you could just see all these other jumbo jets sitting on the runway.
Really?
So you kind of thought, ooh, something big is going on.
They still didn't have detailed information. They couldn't see the video the rest of us saw that day almost 18 years ago. Glenn, though, had an international cell phone. As news trickled in about the tragedy, passengers asked to use it, including a father.
He says, my daughter works in the World Trade Center. And he was shaking, and I said, absolutely. And I gave him the phone. The good news is he talked to his wife, and his daughter was okay. So he gave me a big hug, and there were tears coming down his eyes.
After hours on the plane, more moving moments. Folks in the tiny town of Gambo opened their hearts to the plane people. They cooked for them.
Had moose.
We had moose, casserole.
They donated bedding so all their visitors could sleep soundly, in the case of our three, on the floor of a church. And they just made them feel welcome and cared for at the toughest of times.
I still get choked up thinking about all the kindness and generosity of all the people there.
It just affected me.
Just how wonderful people can be when the chips are down.
They help strangers that came from away.
They are all going to see the production. In fact, Glenn is bringing a group of some of the Delta Flight 37 crew members. He told me he's seen the production 3 times and he experienced it live once. If you want to see Come From Away, it is running at the Aronoff from September 17th to the 29th.